Good evening from the Eyewitness News Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Jeff Smith. As we wind down this storm, we're going to be rounding up some of the totals, show you what's going to be happening for the rest of the night out there. A few pictures from outside right now, and you see mainly wet roads. Big contrast from earlier in New York City. Temperatures have risen well above freezing in and around the city. You see wet sidewalks, wet roads out there. So travel, not as much of a problem as it was earlier. North and west, a different story, though. And I think those numbers will struggle actually to get up to the 32-degree mark overnight. So there could definitely be some slick spots on untreated surfaces out there. Another shot right now looking over toward lower Manhattan from Brooklyn. Visibility still a little bit obscured there. We still have some low clouds. Those will be clearing out overnight tonight. Steady precipitation has pretty much come to an end within the 5 boroughs of New York City. And lastly, I'll look over towards Central Park and you can see the Sheep Meadow, which recorded about 2.1 inches of snowfall from this event. We were going for 1 to 3. That was smack dab in the middle of our range, so we're happy with that forecast. And we take a look at that temperature right now, 36 degrees, so it is risen well above freezing again in the city. 38 at JFK, but still, look at White Plains, 32, and then you head north and west of there, and all bets are off. You're 23 at Newburgh, 28 at Sussex. None of these areas will really get up to the freezing mark overnight tonight, and that means any wet roadways will tend to freeze over. Could be some patches of black ice as we head into early tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, city points south and east, no real travel issues anymore. So any precipitation moving away from the area right now. Watch for slippery spots again on untreated roadways north and west of New York City where it doesn't quite make it up to the freezing mark overnight. I think in the city it actually gets up close to 40 by tomorrow morning. And 40 degrees will pretty much be our high tomorrow. We'll stay steady at that temperature, but the wind will be cranking up and it will make 40 feel more like the middle and upper 20s. Rounding up some of the snowfall totals, Kingston, Ulster County, 4 inches of snow. Gardnertown there in northeastern Orange County, about 4 inches. Wantagh on the island, just over 2.5. Central Park, checking in with 2.1. LaGuardia Airport, 1.9. And Newark, about 1.8 inches of snow. One change since I saw you last. The National Weather Service has canceled the winter weather advisory, not surprisingly, for New York City since we've risen above the freezing mark. But you're still in effect north and west of the city, that winter weather advisory till 1 o'clock in the morning. Even parts of the north shore of Long Island still under that winter weather advisory. Here's our radar right now. Saying Long Island's all in the form of rainfall right now. You've risen above freezing there. Still could be some slushy roadways in a couple of spots, though. But you see the back edge of that precipitation moving pretty briskly off to the east. Just a couple of rain and snow showers left over behind it, but pretty much that steady precipitation is coming to an end right now in and around New York City. Still going pretty strong off to the east, but mainly in the form of rainfall over Long Island. Still have some snowfall, especially over interior parts of Connecticut and parts of the Hudson Valley. Some other reports coming in right now. In addition to the ones we showed you earlier on that list, Bethpage on Long Island actually checking in with 3.3 inches of snow. We check out Lake Hopatcong there, 2.3 inches of snow in northern parts of New Jersey, and Rybrook there in southeastern Westchester County, about 3 inches of snow. Here's our futurecast overnight. Again, these numbers continuing to rise up to about 39 by midnight. That's good news for the road surfaces overnight in the city and Long Island, down the Jersey Shore. Really just going to be wet roads out there. North and west, again, a different story. But even up toward Newburgh and Sussex, you might eke out the freezing mark or just above that by midnight, staying below freezing if you head far enough north and west. But even if you go above freezing for a time in these areas north and west, you might dip down closer to freezing or below by early tomorrow morning. And that's why there could be some patches of black ice out there. So exercise caution for certain overnight in those areas. By 7 o'clock in the morning, we wake up to mainly cloudy skies, but then it becomes sunnier during the course of the day. I think if anything, those numbers kind of stay steady. We don't really rise much. We're right around 40 as we head into the afternoon, but the wind coming in could be gusting above 25 miles per hour, making it feel more like in the 20s. Could be a brief snow shower or snow squall late tomorrow afternoon, early tomorrow evening, especially north and west of New York City, with a reinforcing shot of Arctic air moving in. And I say Arctic because by Monday at 8 a.m., we're back down into the low 20s in the city and teens in many areas north and west. And it may not even get up to the freezing mark in a lot of spots during the daylight hours on Monday. And it's cold early during the week. We have a trough of low pressure over the eastern part of the country, kind of opening up the floodgates for that colder air to move in. But eventually, milder air will win over again. Kind of like the pattern that we've been in for much of the winter, right? More of a Pacific air mass taking over the lower 48 states by the end of the week. AccuWeather forecast overnight, any snow, ice, and rain will be moving away from the area. 36 now, but rising up to about 39 by daybreak in and around New York City. Struggling, though, to get up to the freezing mark in some areas north and west where you can get some slick spots. Mostly cloudy, 39 at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's windy, it's chilly, clouds and sun tomorrow. 41 will feel more like the middle and upper 20s. That wind can be gusting up to 30 miles per hour at times. And then more partly cloudy, brisk and colder tomorrow night. Again, early tomorrow night, watch for maybe a snow shower or a snow squall, especially north and west in New York City, with that reinforcing shot of cold air moving in. Here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast on Monday. Brisk, cold, only 32 for a high, despite some sun. A lot of sun on Tuesday, not quite as windy, about 32 for the high. Not as harsh Wednesday, pretty close to normal for this time of the year, upper 30s, and then we go above average for Thursday and Friday, middle 40s, and that means by the time our next system comes in for Friday night into Saturday, it would most likely be in the form of rainfall. Could start as a little bit of mixed precipitation in some areas if it comes in Friday night, well north and west of New York City. We'll have an update coming up on Eyewitness News on Channel 7 after the NBA game. In the meantime, you can always go to ABC7NY or download the News app on the App Store and also on Google Play. You can contact me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jeff Smith, ABC7. Have a safe evening. Bye-bye.